And for this to be the first fight that I ever promote in boxing, it's
My
it's
peoples,
incredible. It's an unbelievable experience.
my peoples. Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are holding their second presser, and this one is in New York City. Crawford already spoke, Canelo spoke, and now we have some of the also Dana White spoke, and now we got Terence Crawford answering questions for a fan. Here we go, man. Terence Crawford says God was preparing him for this moment, and this is time.
Where would this victory stack up against some of the other ones that you've earned, and where would Terence Crawford fall within your resume? How do you feel?
Check it, my peoples. They asked Canelo about, this fight with Terence Crawford. Where does it end up in his resume? And he acknowledges, man, Crawford is a great fighter, and this would be a great win for him.
What is it about what Turkey was doing that brought you to the table to invest so deeply your time in boxing? What's the question? What about what Turkey is doing? What about it that brought you so closely back into boxing? Yeah, none of this happens without Turkey. Turkey's been able to make fights that nobody could ever make, including this one. I mean, this is a once in a lifetime fight. This is the fight that people would have been talking about 10 years
And
ago.
let me tell you something, my people. They asking Dana White about, him promoting with Turkey, and he's saying Turkey's making some of the biggest fights, and this is the biggest fight. And Dana White touched on the fact that this is his first, fight that he's involved in promoting, and it's the biggest fight in boxing. There we go, my people. So you can see that His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh is right there watching. And you're getting questions from, I don't know if these are the fans or the guys who work the press. Look, Crawford was asked, what does he want people to say? The people who, think he's gonna lose to Canelo. And you're like, they're gonna cry when it's time to go home. The people who booed me, they're going, a little fun with the crowd.
I'm from the UFC world. You're bringing me over to the boxing world. I appreciate everything you've done for combat sports. What does it mean? How does it feel to you to be one of the masterminds? And what could be the most huge fight in combat sports history? Yeah.
What does Dana White feel about being involved in one of the biggest fights, or what could be the biggest fight in combat sports?
Same night we have UFC Noche that night, and I know there's a lot of questions about this. The main cards will not cross over. You'll be able to watch one right into the other. So to be a part of a historic night on Mexican Independence Day,
It's a big deal. I mean, I like the fact that Dana White, or how he frames it, where he's saying, "Oh, they won't cross over," And he's not really getting into the fact that Canelo versus Crawford is going to be in the daytime. He's just saying they're not going to cross over. But he's not really getting into the details of why they're not going to cross over.
Listen, I'm all about making history. I was the first two-time undisputed champion of the world, and I can assure you I'm going to be the first three-time undisputed champion.
There you have it, my people. Terence Crawford says that he's going to be the first three-division undisputed champion. The whole time Crawford has been real confident in him being able to beat Canelo. But again, my people's Crawford and Canelo and Dana, they're getting questions. I don't know if these guys are fans or if they actually work the press, but they're answering questions.
I respect Canelo, just like I respect every one of my other opponents before Canelo. But once they get close to that,
I mean, I understand that. You know what Crawford is saying? He respects Canelo because, come on, my people's Canelo, and I've been saying that as well. Canelo's a great fighter. So if you're being realistic, you gotta respect him. But he's there to whoop him when the time comes.
go ahead, sir. Canelo en español para toda la gente que está aquí que habla español. Platícanos
Canelo, there's a question in Spanish now.
lo más difícil de enfrentar a Crawford. I'm here for Crawford. What do you feel that you need to go all divisions for this fight? Hold on before you answer. Go ahead, translate. For all these people here, for the Spanish crowd, how difficult is this for preparation? What do you expect? No, obviamente Crawford es un gran peleador.
You see, Canelo acknowledges. You know, he acknowledges that Crawford is a great fighter. You know, and I think you have to. You have to understand that.
Obviously, Terence Crawford is a great fighter. That's the reason why he's fighting me. That's the reason why we're facing each other. But that's what we do. We got to do what we always do. It's 100%, always training, and it's going to be a great triumph.
I wish, man. I wish I was there to ask some questions. You know, I would ask Canelo a couple questions, Crawford, Dana. I would ask a few good questions up in there.
Good? All right. I want to bring up the first member of our broadcast team. He is the best boxing analyst in the sport.
And you know, Dana White
Max Kellerman.
kind of, well, I don't know if those were fans, because you know, in the UFC, they allow fans to ask questions to the fighters in their pressers. Oh, Max Kellerman.
All right,
So,
I know you guys are
whoa,
excited about this fight.
Max Kellerman.
I think you understand
Max Kellerman is involved in this.
storm. A perfect
This is fire, my peoples.
turkey out sheep.
I like this.
We're lucky.
I had, you know, ever since Max Kellerman left from ESPN, I had not seen him anywhere. I don't know what he's done. You know, I figured he would probably land on a boxing platform right away. And I haven't really seen him. Don't know what he's done since, but I'm really happy to see him here. I don't know how much his involvement is going to be when it comes to this fight, but I'm happy to see Max Kellerman in this pressure, man.
The most recent one. Bud Crawford. Apologies to the monster and Usyk. Bud Crawford has my vote for best pound for pound.
There you have it, yo. Max Kellerman says Terence Crawford has his vote for pound fighter in the world.
Canelo Alvarez, universally recognized that way. But it's not just these two guys, the last two best pound for pound fighters in the world. There haven't been that many. Before Canelo, who do you have? Before Canelo, Floyd or Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather. Before you can take the lineage back, there've only been, I don't know, 25 or 30 fighters who ever lived who you said that's the best pound for pound fighter in the world. These are two of them, the last two. And they're going to fight.
Two pound for pound fighters in the world, my peoples, and they're gonna go at it on September 13th.
Canelo is 62
But seeing Max Kellerman, you know, involved in this, that's fire. Salute to Max Kellerman, man. I've been wanting to see him, you know, be involved in boxing. There he is.
This fight is a perfect storm. I could not be more excited to be a part of it.
There you go, man. Max Kellerman is involved. That's fire.
Blood, I'm going to start with you. Why are you jumping up and skipping a division?
Look at this question.
To junior middleweight. You were given the best fight of your career.
Max Kellerman is asking Crawford why he jumped up these divisions.
And now you're who? Someone gave you a tougher fight than Madrigal? I thought that was a tough fight. Well, you've been beating the hell out of most guys you've ever fought. He gave you a good fight. Now you're skipping middleweight. No rehydration clause, nothing like that.
And we spoke about that, my people. There's no rehydration clause. So once they make weight, all bets are off.
Why do it this way? Why not? I always say Why not? You know, all the greats do things that people think that's impossible. You know, so within myself, I have the confidence, the skills. I got
You
all the
see,
tools to beat Canelo. So why not?
there you go. That's the right question. Why not?
You are right now El Gran Campeón Mexico, right? Like you are the guy. Richard, good to see you. And Mexico has produced some of the greatest champions in boxing history, including Julio Cesar Chavez, Salvador Sanchez, and on and on. If you beat Terence Crawford in this fight, or is it on the line the greatest champion in the history of Mexico? Is that on the line of this fight?
Let's see when I retire where I'm gonna be in the list. But for sure, I will be first couple, no matter what. I don't look it like I'm gonna be the greatest Mexican ever. I don't say it that. I think my numbers is gonna talk when I retire.
For someone who hasn't been during that September weekend to Vegas for a Canelo fight, why should they come out for this one?
It's gonna be one of the greatest fighters ever, for sure. And that night is very special. All around this fight is special, and I think they don't wanna miss this fight.
You spent a lot of your career early on.
Listen, man, just like Terence Crawford is confident, Canelo feels the same way. Every time he talks about it, he says he's not gonna beat me. He's not gonna beat me. So yeah, two pound for pound fighters, both feeling very confident in their ability.
What fight
We're gonna see.
is gonna make, but I'm gonna prepare myself for every style he brings.
I
I
will
hope
say,
I hope he brings a good style to make a good fight for the people. That's what I want. If
I
not,
will say, man,
I'm gonna do my best
Canelo.
in every way.
Um, it's been reported that he have boots in training camp, so he could give him those different angles like Crawford, and that's a great option. Let's see.
Seems to be something out there like the way for you to win this fight is to move, move, move. Is that true?
Listen, Turkey, you need to put a small ring, the smaller ring in
The only, hey man, yeah. The only running that I'm gonna be doing is running upside his head, and I can assure you that.
Oh, you see what Crawford said? The running I'm gonna do is running up to him, knocking him in the head.
Canelo, I mentioned Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler earlier. Hagler also fought a great lightweight champion before he fought Sugar Ray, Roberto Duran. And Duran didn't run. They fought in close for 15 rounds, and it was a close fight. Do you think he can do that? Do you think he can bring it to you?
We'll see. We need to try, right, to see what is gonna happen. But for sure, it's gonna be different, way different.
All right. All I can tell you is it is the perfect storm of a fight. The fights like this, I know Dana said it's once in a lifetime. Legitimately, a fight like this comes around once every decade or so. By the way, Muhammad Ali fought Leon Spinks in 1978. 90 million people watched the fight live on ABC because back then it was broadcast in primetime by a huge platform. Nothing has come close since then. Nothing. Even if you say Mayweather-Pacquiao, they did 4 million pay-per-views, incredible. Even if 5 people per set are watching, it's 20 million people. But this platform, Netflix, they showed you not long ago with a fight that was not like this, 100 million people watching. This will be, it's safe to say, the most watched prize fight, more eyeballs on it than any fight in almost 50 years. In
Whoa.
half a century.
My peoples, did you hear it?
I would say that it is a once-in-a-lifetime fight, except Turkey, I'm sure that there will be more like it in the not-too-distant future. You keep making all the fights. The rematch. Right.
The damn Turkey already mentioning the rematch. He wilding.
I cannot wait for this one. By the way, live on Netflix. If you have Netflix, which everyone does.
I don't like the fact that Turkey has met, like keeps like bringing up the rematch, but whatever. Right now I think we should just focus on this one fight. Watch the face off, my peoples. Check out the face off. Like I told ya, and like I've been telling you, you say that Canelo's too big. He's gonna walk him down. Crawford is too small. He's moving up the divisions. Look at them face to face, my people. Check out Canelo and Crawford go face to face. Look at the face off. Look at the face off. Let me close the image. Look at the face off and try to tell me how Canelo is much bigger than Crawford. Go ahead. Go ahead, my people. I want y'all to check out this face off and explain to me if you think Canelo's gonna be huge and Crawford is gonna be small on fight night. Y'all gonna tell me? All you gotta do is take a look at the face off and figure out, if Canelo is really so much bigger than Crawford, or if that's just a narrative that holds no water whatsoever. They have a little mix up on the stage. Okay. Max looked like he maybe got ahead of himself. They wasn't supposed to face off yet. Dana White's talking about the performance bonus. So you guys know that in UFC there's a performance bonus. It'd be like fight of the night or something like that. Well, Dana White is bringing that to boxing. You see, in this fight, he has a performance bonus. What I've heard before is that if a fighter wins by knockout, they get like an extra $1 million. I don't know if that's true, but I guess we're gonna find out. Man, I don't know what happened, man. They're having like a little mix up right now. I don't know if maybe Crawford, what the hell? I don't know if maybe Crawford and Canelo are getting ready for the face off and what, but yeah, they're a little mixed up right now. There you go. Dana White called. Oh, okay. They were setting up. Dana White called them both to get on stage at the same time. Check it, my people. Check it. Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford. My people, look how Terence Crawford. Oh, Canelo pushed him. Canelo pushed him. Canelo pushes Crawford. You see Crawford going after him. There you go, my peoples. That's it. We're going to start seeing this energy from here on out. That's it. That's it. We're not going to see no more Mr. Nice Guys. We're going to start seeing that energy. You see Crawford smiling. Like, yeah, you was about to get knocked out on this stage. Here we go. Yo, Crawford was all in his face, though. Canelo didn't like it. Pushed him. They brought him back. You see Crawford smiling. Canelo looks shaken, not stirred. Dana White is standing in between them. This face-off kind of reminds me of a UFC style kind of face-off. Has kind of like that vibe. But here you go. They facing each other. Dana White standing between them, holding the new Ring Belt magazine. The new Ring magazine belt. There you have it, my peoples. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez. Do you see somebody looking a lot bigger? Look at that. Staring at each other, talking. Canelo talking to Crawford, letting him know. Crawford talking back to him. Man, listen, I ain't scared of your little ass. There you have it, my peoples. You're starting to feel Eddie Reynoso standing right next to Canelo, Max standing next to Crawford. You're starting to feel that energy. That's it. You're starting to feel that energy between Canelo and Bob right now. From here on out, trust me, you can forget about the smiles and the pressers and the love, and they're gonna start getting. They're gonna start having that energy now, leading up to the fight. My peoples, there you go. Second press conference from New York City. Second face-off. You saw Crawford in Canelo's face, in his face, and Canelo pushed him. Ozzy, yo, bro, I'm changing my pick after seeing those pictures. Not gonna lie, Bud looking fat. Looking fat? Nigga, he wearing a baggy shirt. Go to his Instagram. That man is ripped, bro. In some of these photos, I don't know on weight if he's gonna win. Bro, nah, you're off. Check out his Instagram, his recent pictures. Crawford is ripped, bro. He definitely not fat. But that was the second presser there in New York City. And you can see the vibe, like the UFC vibe in this press conference. Like Dana White, the way that he handles certain things, and they talk about a performance bonus. You guys know that they have that in the UFC. So, I think it was a good interaction between Crawford and Canelo. A nice little push right there to get the energy going. And I think we're gonna see the intensity start getting, heavier as they approach fight night. That's it, my peoples. There you have it. That was the press conference. I already told y'all, man. Terence Crawford is gonna beat Canelo Alvarez by unanimous decision. Simple as that. Take my word for it. Nah, bro, he don't look ripped. Look at him in that power slap video. I mean, when I say rip, I don't mean like in fighting shape. What I mean is that he looks strong, bro. God, looks strong as hell. You don't see loose skin on him. You don't see fat like that on him. He's just bigger. He's just bigger. That's all it is, my guy. Terence Crawford, at this moment, you got to take into account that the guy is weighing like 180 something pounds. You're big right now, Terence Crawford. But also to point out, you saw the face off. You saw the face off, my guy. Did Canelo Alvarez look big in front of Crawford? Nope. Did not look big. He didn't. He did. Hold on, my people. Hold on. Let me watch this. But I noticed, and I told you guys about this. Where the hell's the microphone? I told you guys about this from before. I was like, yo, when people see them face to face with each other, they're gonna stop that shit about Crawford is too little, Canelo's too big. Yo, you see him face to face? You saw him face to face. You tell me if Canelo looked like a giant right in front of Crawford's face, and he wearing platform shoes. I just worry he won't be sharp. I mean, I don't know why you think he wouldn't be sharp, bro. Like, if you follow Crawford long enough, you know the type of athlete that he is. You know the guy's a gym rat. You know the guy's not out partying. The guy doesn't be getting out of shape or acting crazy or being controversies. Yo, Crawford is a true athlete, my guy. I don't understand how you would think, oh no, he's not gonna be in good shape and he's not gonna be sharp. I don't understand that, bro. We're gonna see a guy who's gonna be in great shape and who's gonna be sharp as hell, the sharpest we ever seen him every time. Ozzy, but Canelo way more chiseled. Bro, you gotta understand, Canelo just fought the other day. Canelo was on weight. How long ago was it he fought William Scott? He was on weight. Crawford has been walking around weighing in the 180s. That's why it's crazy that people think this small little guy is moving up all these divisions, and they don't understand that Crawford's been walking around weighing north of 180 pounds for months. He's big. He's gonna have to cut down to 168. People gotta let that sink in. We see them standing right there face to face with each other. Canelo doesn't look big in front of Crawford like people thought he would. People was thinking Canelo gonna be like this big monster, and Crawford's gonna look like this frail little guy in front of him. Look, we just saw them facing off. They look about the same size. Ozzy, he always shows up on big occasions. Listen, the fight is gonna be on September 13th, and I'm trying to tell you, my brother, Terence Crawford, the the notion that he's gonna be fat or that he might be slow or that he might, all of that stuff is crazy. This guy's a super athlete. We've seen Crawford be an athlete his whole career. He's gonna mess that up now for the biggest fight of his career. That's crazy work, bro. Ozzy, 50 million can change anyone. $50 million, man. I mean, I don't know, because there was reported for Crawford supposedly it's $10 million, and I don't even. It's not even to me. It's not even about how much he's gonna make or Canelo. It's about two pound for pound fighters that are gonna be facing each other. Two of the best of this era. Ozzy, I hope he does come in discipline because Bud got skills. Man, he will. He will. Look, Canelo has never had a problem either as far as being disciplined, as far as showing up in great shape to his fights. That's the reason why he is where he is. Easy Boy 88, Sonny. Do you think Crawford was listening to the critics who, after yesterday, were saying Crawford looked scared, and maybe that's why he was pushing Canelo back extra in this stare down? No, I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think that Crawford reacts off of what people are saying in social media. I would say he did that. Remember that this is a business, and part of it is gonna be to sell this fight to get the people talking about it. Look, we're talking about it now, but also as they get closer to the fight, it's gonna get more intense. The interactions are gonna get more intense because look, Canelo pushed him and he didn't do that in the first one. So I think we're just gonna see that energy. We're talking about two great fighters, two pound for pound fighters. They both feel sure that they're gonna win, so the confidence is through the roof. So we're gonna see that. The next pressure, they're gonna step it up a notch. We're gonna see more of that type of energy. So I don't think it's about what the fans are saying. I think it's more about just that energy as we get closer to fight night. Canelo Floyd's son. Bob reminds me of a solid friend who got smart but also street smart. As a man, you need both, like Nipsey Hussle, Boots, Brian Norman Jr., Abdullah Mason. Uh, so look, my brother, your point is legit, but I'm gonna have to take Nipsey Hussle off of that list. And the reason I have to take Nipsey Hussle off that list is because he's no longer with us. May he rest in peace. If you're no longer with us, you it's hard to be in a list where you're competing with people who are with us. So Nipsey Hussle accomplished some great things, but he made some big mistakes along the way that ultimately led to him no longer being with us. So a lot of street smarts, but it wasn't enough to keep him, you know. Steven Polanco, Buzz stepped to Canelo. Yo, he was on him. He was on his face, my brother. Ozzy, I got a bet on Bud to win. I mean, I'm going for Crawford to win. I'm going to put a little bit of money on that too online because he is going to be the underdog. He's going to be the underdog, so you get to win a little money on that. Eric Gomes, Bomb Squad, Boxer JSmiff, salute. Eric Gomes, what's the deal, my brother? Canelo. Canelo's going to get his ass whooped. I was born ready, Canelo voice. Nipsey Hussle not smart. Nah. I wouldn't say that he's not smart. Very smart because you got to look at the things that he accomplished and the businesses that he put together. So he was very smart, but in a certain way, he was naive about I would say, his gang affiliation, and that naiveness allow him to get caught slipping. Easy Boy 88. What do you say those claiming Canelo has recently been wearing lifts in his shoes? Oh, he definitely has. He definitely has, my brother. I said it. And how do I know? He's shorter than Terence Crawford. And if you look at the two press conferences, when they go face to face, they look about exactly the same height. They're not the same height. He's wearing some tall ass platform shoes. So he don't look small in front of Crawford. He wants to look big. So it's kind of like part of the mind games. Like, look, I'm big. But he's shorter than Crawford. He don't want to show it. Eric Gomes. Biopsy, Nipsey dead because es un pendejo. You know, I'm not going to say es un pendejo, you know. And I don't want to talk like that about anybody who's no longer with us, to be honest with you, my brother. I will say, you know, if you're involved in certain things, that's something that can happen. That could be, you know, how you end up. It is that, you know, that's life. But again, my peoples, you know, I think that Crawford and Canelo, look, I was saying that this fight was going to be huge. Something that I saw in this presser that I was happy about. Yo, y'all haven't even mentioned Max Kellerman in the comments, B. Max Kellerman is involved in this fight. You know, I would say Max is one of the guys who I respect the most as far as boxing knowledge. And he was never a fighter. So very few times you see a guy that wasn't a fighter but has some great knowledge. Max Kellerman is one of them. And I got a lot of respect for him. I enjoy watching him, you know, since a very long time ago. And to see him be back, that's fire. You know, I had not seen him since he left ESPN since ESPN let him go. I had seen him. So Max Kellerman is now involved in this, and he was talking about it, saying that, you know, with Netflix, we saw Mike Tyson and Jake Paul get over 100 million viewers. Well, we're talking about Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez may actually get over 100 million views on Netflix. Imagine that. This is going to be one of the most watched fights in boxing history. And the reason I bring that up is because a lot of people had the nerves to tell me, oh, you know, that fight is not going to be all that. A lot of people are not going to watch it. A lot of people are not going to buy it. Yo, I even had people tell me, I don't care about that fight. It don't even make no sense to me. I wouldn't watch it. But they disappear. I don't know where they are no more. The people that say that they wouldn't watch a fight, they'll be the first ones watching. That's crazy. But, you know, I would say Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford is going to be one of those fights that non-boxing fans will tune into. People who don't even watch boxing, they're going to hear about it and they're going to tune in. That's what happened with Floyd Mayweather and McGregor. You know, people that didn't even watch boxing. Well, Floyd Mayweather, the greatest boxer, is fighting this guy, one of the best MMA guys. And it made it interesting for everybody. So now it's the same thing. You got Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford. This is a huge fight. And there will be people who don't even follow boxing watching this fight, tuning in, joining the conversation about it. That's it. Let's get it. Let's get it, my peoples. So quick question for everybody who's in the chat right now. Is there anyone who wants to hold on a second? Is there anyone who wants to come on the live and give me your Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez prediction? Boom. Eric Gomes, let me know. You rocking with your mans in them. Let me know, my people, if anybody wants to come on the live and make your prediction. I am going to send the link in the comments. Feel free to come through, man. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to give your prediction, if you want to say how you feel this fight is going to play out, You're gonna be able to speak your word, man. You're gonna be able to speak your word, man. There you have it, my peoples. Eric Gomes, I keep it in the chat. There you have it, my peoples. That's the link right there. If you want to join the live and give me your own prediction as to how you feel like the fight is going to play out. This is something, by the way, that I am going to be doing when I go live. I am going to give my subscribers, my peoples, my boxing family the opportunity to come through and say what you got to say. Come through and say what you have to say. All you have to do, my peoples, go to that link. You have to accept the cookies, obviously. Activate your microphone, your camera, and go in, and I'll let you in. Check it out. Eric Gomes, Box Center with JSmiff. Respect. No doubt, my brother. Respect to you too as well. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody, who show up, talk boxing, enjoy the sweet science. That's what it is. Easy Boy 88 Sunny. Fight ends in a draw. Canelo scores a knockdown in the ninth, but cannot close the show. Crawford boxes very well. Earns a controversial draw. Nah. Let me read that again. Easy Boy 88 Sunny. Fight ends in a draw. Canelo scores a knockdown in the ninth, but cannot close the show. Crawford boxes well and earns a controversial draw. Nah. I don't see that happening, my brother. My people, I do not see that happening. Number one, Canelo is not going to score a knockdown. And number two, Terence Crawford is going to outbox Canelo thoroughly throughout the fight to win by unanimous decision. There you have it, my peoples. I'm JSmiff. This is Box Center, and this is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. Peace. So there you go, Easy Boy 88, Sonny. That's my answer for you. Terence Crawford is not going to end in a draw. Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is definitely not going to end in a draw. This fight is going to end by Crawford winning via unanimous decision. That's it. That's the way that is going to play out, man. I can't wait, for the fight to actually happen. When it does, y'all gonna see. When they fight each other, you'll be able to say, damn, Jay was right. Jay tried to tell us. And then you're gonna understand, that's why he's Jay Stradamus. That's why he's the human algorithm. Because he knows the shit that's gonna happen before it happens. I'm keeping it 100 with you, my peoples. I'm keeping it 110%. So there you have it. We got to enjoy press conference number 2 for Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. It took place in New York City. Dana White was in the building. He spoke out, and Max Kellerman was also in the building. He said that he's going to be involved in this fight. He's happy to be there. I'm happy to see Max Kellerman on there. That was fine. For those who've been watching boxing long enough, you know that Max Kellerman is, very insightful. He's very knowledgeable, so he's going to give you great information, whether it's historical or about the fight, how it's going to play out, or just opinion, and ask great questions. Max Kellerman is the real deal, so I'm happy to see him, involved in this fight. My peoples, y'all already know what it is, man. Before I get the hell out of here, I want to give a shout out to everybody who came through. I appreciate y'all. We enjoyed the presser. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez in New York City. Next press conference, one of these days, they're going to be fighting on September 13th. I already gave y'all my prediction. If you go against me, your feelings is going to be hurt on September 13th. That's all I got to tell you. Easy Boy 88. We have seen Bug get dropped by Horn, right by Gamboa and Kavaliauskas, though it was not ruled a knockdown. Canelo dropped 200 Berlanga with a left hook. Madrimov could not miss with his left But I look, man, my brother, I have to tell you, your comment is beyond incoherent. That's the type of comment that you formulate, and to you it makes perfect sense, and it's like a real good one, but it's beyond incoherent. Nobody who has ever laced on a pair of gloves would ever make that comment. Only somebody that watched a lot of boxing on TV will put that opinion together. Styles make fights. When I tell you styles make fights, that debunks your entire paragraph. Styles make fights. What happened with another fighter is irrelevant with what's going to happen with this fighter. That's number one. Number two, Terence Buck Crawford fought Horn and Gamboa how many years ago? And Mean Machine how many years ago? Terence Crawford has 42 wins, and you're bringing up fights from how long ago? Come on, man. Stop it. Y'all don't realize how weak that sounds when you do that. Because Terence Crawford has fought how many fights? 42. And you have the audacity to bring up that he got rocked in the 135 division versus Gamboa like 10 years ago. That's embarrassing, bro. That actually says how great Crawford is and how great of a chin he has. Come on. What are we doing? What are we doing, bro? When you use, let me explain to you something. When you use Crawford hater narrative to tie your point together, you make a horrible point. This is Crawford hater narrative, but Crawford hater narrative is no good. It's never any good because Crawford is a great fighter. So watch this. To your last comment, you're bringing up Jeff Horn, Gamboa, and Kavaliauskas, Mean Machine. Now, Crawford fought Mean Machine and he knocked him out. Crawford fought Jeff Horn and he knocked him out. And Crawford fought Gamboa. He knocked him out. So you mentioned three opponents that, according to you, they hurt him and he knocked all three of them out. But you leave that part out strategically or coincidentally. You leave that detail out. That's the problem with hater logic. When it comes to hater logic, you grab little tidbits and you cling on to that instead of looking at the whole picture. If you were really being honest, you would tell the whole picture. Oh, Bud got dropped by Horn and got rocked by Gamboa, but he knocked both of them out. Oh, you skipped the knockout and you only put it like they just put hands on him. That's your description. That's your description of those fights. Come on now. Come on, bro. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I mean, you could play devil's advocate, but you really feel that way. You're not playing devil's advocate. Those are your talking points. But I'm telling you, my brother, those are horrible talking points because, again, styles make fights. Crawford is not going to fight Canelo the same way that he's going to fight Madrimov. It's not going to be the same fight. Easy Boy 88 Sonny, great show. I appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate it. Real talk. But again, what I was saying, when it comes to styles make fights, Crawford is not going to fight Canelo the same way that he fought Madrimov. He's going to adjust to Canelo's specific style. And by the way, I want to point something out. Think about this. When Crawford fought Madrimov, we didn't even know Madrimov. Most of us had never even seen him, right? Virgil Ortiz had the benefit of seeing Madrimov. He watched Madrimov versus Crawford. He watched the constant feints. He watched that European style. And he had a whole training camp to prepare for that. And even Virgil couldn't stop Madrimov. That tells you how good Madrimov actually is. Virgil was able to prepare for him, had new footage about him, and couldn't stop him. The guy can fight. Is that people don't want to give him credit. Why? Because Crawford beat him. So if Crawford beat you, and you want to hate on Crawford, what you got to do? You got to say, yeah, he ain't that good. He ain't that good. Mind you, he was a reigning world champion when Crawford beat him. Hash bash. Andre Ward trainer never put a pair of gloves on, but trained one of the best. So that debunk your belief on what you need to fight to know what someone is looking at. No, that is incorrect, my brother. Let me correct you on that, hash bash. Let me correct you on that. He's involved in boxing. So he never boxed, but he's involved. So when you're involved in boxing, my brother, you're with fighters every day. You get information directly from the fighters. You're in the gym. You're watching. He didn't just walk in the gym and just start training. You're watching other trainers interact with the fighters. Other trainers teach you training techniques that you learn about. How are you going to compare a trainer that's in a gym with the fighters to you, for example, who's just watching TV and social media? You think his knowledge and yours is going to be the same if y'all two never boxed, but he's around fighters? It can't be the same, my guy. You cannot be in the same category as somebody who's involved in the sport of boxing because your knowledge is limited to what you see on TV. And then you formulate your own opinion based also on your own bias. I've proved to you your bias, my brother, on this very same channel. You know that. You know your bias. We can easily expose it. So that's the difference right there. Big, big difference. Easy Boy 88, Angelo Dundee neither. Roy Arcel also never boxed either, if I'm not mistaken. No, listen, that's not even something that we need to dispute. There's a lot of people. Listen, there's referees who never boxed, judges who never boxed, trainers. There's a lot of people in the sport who never actually boxed. But what I'm trying to help you understand is that if I never, I box. You guys, those who've been in the channel already know I box amateur and professional. But here's my point. If I never boxed a day in my life, right? Let's say I never boxed, but I'm at the gym with the fighters. I'm at the meetings. I'm filming video. I'm at the actual meetings where they're meeting up for the training camp. I'm there when they talking about the nutritional plan. I'm there when they talking about the contract. Then obviously my knowledge is going to be different than yours if your knowledge is based off of what you see on TV. Because if your knowledge is based off of what you see on TV, you don't have firsthand knowledge of the sport. You see something on TV, you see something on social media, and you formulate your own opinion. So the knowledge of a fan is never going to be the same as the knowledge of someone who is involved. Whether you box or not, if you're involved in the sport, you're going to have a different level of knowledge. Easy Boy 88, Dana White is known for producing stacked undercards. Do you think he will carry that over into boxing? I believe so. I believe so. I think a lot of the traits from MMA, he's going to bring them to boxing. Don't you see that they already have a prize? Just like in MMA, like they have Fighter of the Night and stuff like that. And now they have like an extra prize, I guess, if you knock out the opponent. I've been hearing that it's $1 million extra, but I don't know if he confirmed it. I wasn't listening. But Dana White, I think he's going to do a great job. Boxing Magic, Max side. Crawford has been getting cooked in this press, and the pressure is making him crack. I mean, I don't know what you mean by that. I don't see him getting cooked. I see him, being there very confident and making it sure that y'all understand I'm going to walk out of there with them bouts. There's nothing he could do about it. I'm here to take those. So I don't know what you mean that he's getting cooked, my brother. I haven't read that at all into it. Hash bash, T.O. Dad never boxed, and Bill doesn't fight. And a lot of things is common sense. Again, you keep talking about people who are involved in boxing. Tails dad trains Teal. He's in the boxing gym. He learned from other trainers. Devin Haney, he's in the boxing gym. He learned from other trainers. What are you talking about? Do not compare your knowledge to somebody who's involved in the sport of boxing. That should not be difficult, my brother. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all the realest shit that somebody told y'all on a live. Easy boy, who would you like to see on the undercard? I'm gonna get to that. Jackson, Canelo is another Spence, flat-footed, comes forward. Crawford gonna throw in between those wide arm, slow punches. Facts, Jackson. The footwork is going to make a lot of difference, and the footwork is going to be part of the reason why Crawford is going to win this fight. Crawford is going to obviously be the guy with the better footwork, obviously be the guy with the hand speed, and he's going to outbox him. But I'm going to tell y'all some real shit, my peoples. And I think in boxing is where we see this the most. One thing is us going back and forth as boxing fans and sharing our opinion as boxing fans, right? Let's go back and forth and give out good opinions, good ideas, good perception. Look, Jackson, what he's saying, you see, that's logic based. It's another flat-footed fighter. It's true, Canelo's flat-footed. Look, Williams' score was running around. Canelo couldn't catch him. He couldn't cut the ring to save his life. Canelo could not cut the ring to save his life against William Score. So it was a boring fight. But Crawford is not going there to run. Crawford has 41 professional fights. Have we ever seen him running before? Can we name one fight that he was a runner? No. Crawford is a guy, he'll use his footwork strategically. Because Crawford is the type of fighter who he's going to be in the ring where he wants to be. He's going to pick his spots. So he's going to use his footwork. But you don't see Crawford running. He don't have a reputation. Nobody's ever say, yo, Crawford is a runner. The notion that somehow Crawford is going to start a new style of boxing on September 13th, and now he's going to fight differently, that's crazy work. That's crazy work. But listen to what I was saying to my brother Hash Bass, who keep trying to bring up people involved in boxing and saying, oh, they never boxed. And this is the realest shit somebody gonna tell y'all in a live. Boxing is probably one of the only sports where fans auto-designate themselves analysts of boxing. And you know, boxing connoisseurs. So you actually find boxing fans arguing with boxers about boxing. Somebody who never boxed arguing with a fighter about boxing. You see that in boxing. And there's actually a name for that. And I don't remember the name for it, but I'll look it up and I'll talk about it at another time. Basically, what happens is if you watch something, if you watch enough of something, you gain a certain level of knowledge because of what you watched. But look, for example, somebody like Drew Valens. Drew Valens, salute to you. I appreciate you dropping in. You talking about Crawford will get KO and retire. When that's the first comment you say, right? And you don't put a paragraph, you don't elaborate, you don't explain yourself. Or you say that Crawford gonna get killed and retire. That leads me to assume that you never laced on a pair of gloves in your life. And I don't want you to say, I don't want you to think that I'm saying it like in a disrespectful way to you. Salute to you, my brother, and I appreciate you coming through and sharing your opinion with me. But if Terence Crawford is an undefeated fighter who's been champion in so many divisions, who's accomplishing so much, how do you just say, oh, Crawford gonna get KO and retire? No explanation, no reasoning as to how you think that's gonna happen. Just it's gonna happen. Like Crawford is some B-level guy, some bum. Come on, bro. It can't be like that, my guy. You gotta have something to validate your comment. How do you say something like that? How can you say that's gonna happen and not even have an explanation for it? Hash bash. Canelo didn't want to cut the ring. All he to do is win because he got a big fight in September. Well, he wanted to win by knockout. He was very upset that this guy was running around. At the end of the fight, he said, I was trying, I wanted to fight, but this guy wasn't here to fight. So Canelo definitely doesn't like to and doesn't want to chase nobody around like he had to. So trust me, that's not the fighter or the type of fight Canelo wants to fight. Drew Valens, bro, he arguably lost to Madrimov. He did not lose to Madrimov. That's a horrible argument. And not only that, when you say he arguably, there's no point in to keep reading. Only Terence Crawford haters are saying that. Come on, bro. Come on. You gotta have something better than that, my guy. He arguably lost. Canelo lost 2 fights in his career and arguably lost to Elislandis Lara. That's irrelevant. That doesn't mean nothing, bro. That doesn't really mean anything that he arguably lost. Easy Boy 88, in the last press conference, Turkey essentially stated that he's in Crawford's corner for fear of controversial outcome. Does this concern you at all? That's a great talking point, my brother. In fact, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna put this on video and I'll post it as well, my brother, so you get to see that. So Easy Boy 88 Sonny with a great question. In the press conference, in the first press conference, Turkey essentially stated he is in Crawford's corner for fear of controversial outcome. Does this concern you at all? Look, I'm going to be honest with you, my brother. I really don't appreciate the fact that Turkey makes it public who he's rooting for, because I feel like sometimes that can persuade the judges. When they filling up them scorecards, it could persuade the referee to be biased. So I don't like it, but I think that Canelo's a big enough star to where they're not going to rob him. If anything, it's Crawford who I believe has to win convincingly to walk out of there with the W, to get that unanimous decision, which is what I expect. Giovanni Masic, no way Canelo wins. It's just not possible. I mean, look, Giovanni, I got Crawford winning that fight. I wouldn't say that it's not possible for Canelo, because let's be real, Canelo Alvarez is not a bum. He's a great fighter. But I see Crawford winning it. But it is going to be a good fight. Drew Valens, Spence is the only good fighter on his resume. Of course, he's going to look good fighting C-level competition his whole career against Drew Valens. That's something that only somebody who's a Crawford hater would say. You're either a Crawford hater or somebody who doesn't know shit about boxing. And again, my brother, I don't say that, in a disrespectful way. I say more about, I'm referring more to ignorance. And I'm going to tell you why. You say, I want you to think about this. You say that Errol Spence is the only good fighter. Then Crawford is only beating C-level fighters. Watch this. Last fight, Israel Madrimov, a reigning world champion. Before that, David Avanesian, he was ranked top 10 in all 4 of the major sanctioning bodies. Sean Porter, previous world champion. Kell Brook, previous world champion. Mean Machine, Kavaliauskas, ranked top 10 in all 4 sanctioning bodies. Amir Khan, multiple division world champion. Jose Benavidez Jr., ranked top 10, all 4 sanctioning bodies. Jeff Horn, world champion. Julius Indongo, world champion. Felix Diaz, former world champion and Olympic gold medalist. John Molina, former world champion. Victor Postol, ranked top 10 in all of the sanctioning bodies and undefeated. Henry Lundy, former world champion. Derry Jean, former world champion. Thomas DeLorme, ranked top 10. Ray Beltran, Ricky Burns. Bro, Bradis Prescott. Bro, Crawford ain't fighting no C-level fighters. He ain't fighting no C-level fighter. Every single fighter Crawford fought for the last 10 years plus is either a champion or ranked in the top 10 of their sanctioning body. Every single fighter. And you stand here and say, nah, yo, Spence is the only good fighter that he beat. Everybody else his whole career, C-level fighter. You don't know shit about boxing. I say that with love, my God. You don't know shit about boxing. You don't know what you're talking about, man. Giovanni Masik Spence was 30% in that buff fight. Giovanni, stop with the excuses, my brother. Stop with the excuses. That's a horrible excuse. Let me show you how that's a horrible excuse. You're saying that Spence was 30%. First of all, I don't know how the fuck you made up that percentage, Mike. I don't know. It's like you grabbed that percentage out of thin air like this. 30%. How you decide 30%? I don't even know, my brother. That's number one. Number two, I'm pretty sure you're going to cling on to the car accident. So I'm going to be the person to help you guys understand because nobody explained this. Y'all be sometimes watching people who don't know shit about boxing or people who ain't actually following what's going on. So you don't have reliable information, my people. Listen to me and let me give you some very reliable information that you could put your money on. My peoples, Errol Spence did not suffer a single broken bone in his body in that car accident. Errol Spence did not suffer neurological damage in that accident. His worst injury was busted teeth. He lost teeth, my people. That was it. He didn't break anything. This is one of those accidents that looked a lot worse than it was. When you hear in an accident that a car flipped and that a person was ejected, of course you're gonna think, damn, yo, he should have been killed. He could have. Yes, Errol Spence was lucky. He was lucky he didn't break anything. So if he didn't break anything, for you, my brother Giovanni Masik, I ask you, my brother, what from that car accident do you think dragged all the way to years later when he fought Crawford? If he didn't break anything, what are you talking about? Where are you magically pulling this 13% from, my brother? Because I don't even know where you're getting that 30% that Errol Spence was on, according to you. Where are you getting that number, my guy? So he had a car accident that did not give him any damage that was gonna last 3 years. That guy beat Danny Garcia, an elite level fighter, beat Ugas, a world champion who had just beat Pacquiao. And now the accident came back for Crawford? What are we talking about? Where are we getting this 30% from? Come on, stop, bro. Stop. Crawford's win of Errol Spence is one of the biggest, no, it's the biggest wins of this era. There is no bigger win this era. Simple as that for you, my people. That's a huge win. But Giovanni says you hate on Crawford, you want to take away from that victory. You don't want to give him his props because you thought he was going to lose. You went around telling people he's too little, Spence is too big. So now that Bud Crawford put the beast on Errol, now you got to hate. Now you got to hate, my brother. Hash bash. Just because someone boxed doesn't mean they know what they're looking at. We have weight classes for a reason. And look who Canelo lost, CBE, and a light heavy. Not at his weight. Like I said, Hash bash. I explained it to you. When you watch boxing, there's certain knowledge that you gain if you watch enough of it, but your knowledge is limited because it's only based on what you watch. So you cannot, if you go toe to toe with somebody involved in the sport, you're going to get cooked. You think you're making better points, but you're going to get cooked. You're going to get cooked every single time out. Giovanni, Turkey is just a fan first before anything. You know what, Turkey? I'm concerned about his involvement in boxing with some of the things that he's been saying. I'm kind of concerned because he's acting like a big fan of the sport and he wants things to play out a certain way. And I don't like that. Nick Kinneman, Buck Crawford era. He's going to put a stamp on that statement, my brother. That statement, Crawford is going to put a stamp on it on September 13th. Keep it original ministry. Canelo scaled Crawford, my opinion, but we will see. All little guys. That's the thing. You just saw Canelo and Crawford standing face to face in the press conference. Did Crawford look big, look little? Nick Kinneman. All same weight as Crawford fixed your reply for you, bro. Look, keep it original ministry. I'm going to respond to that comment specifically. I want you to listen to what I got to say. 154 are little guys too compared to 168. Big difference, size, weight matters. That comment that you made right there, keep it original ministry, makes sense. But this is what I need you to understand, my brother. Crawford has been walking around weighing over 185 pounds for months. The way you framing that comment, it's like you think Crawford is weighing 154 and come fight night, a couple of weeks before the fight, he's going to eat a bunch of food and go to 168 to fight Canelo. This guy is weighing over 180 pounds, my brother. He's actually going to have to cut weight down to 168. Let that marinate in your spirit, my brother. You're talking about size and weight matters? Crawford was weighing like 30 pounds more than Canelo just the other day. Because I'm going to remind you, not 30 pounds, but I'm going to remind you, Canelo fought William Skull at 168. And Crawford was there. And Crawford was weighing over 180 pounds, brother. Crawford was heavier than Canelo just a couple of weeks ago. So that idea that you have a 154 pounder and the 168 pounder and the little guy is going to go up, so there's a big difference in size. It's not like that, my brother. It's an erroneous idea. When you look up that Crawford has been weighing over 180 pounds and it's actually heavier than Canelo, your whole concept of 154 little guy goes out the window. Crawford not a 154 little guy, brother. That was his last fight. That's not what he's weighing. The Alpha Playbook. Salute, my brother. Hash Bash. Just because Crawford ran through Spence, and let's be real, Spence wasn't himself. You see, you lost me. When you said Spence wasn't himself, you lost me. I'm not going to keep reading. That's Crawford hater stuff. You don't know what Spence was being. You don't know Spence. You never met Spence in your life. You never been around Spence. To say that Spence wasn't himself, that's crazy work. No need to even keep reading that. Giovanni Masic, Spence had neurological brain damage, retinal detachment. Neurological brain damage? Bro, where did you get that from? You literally made that up out of thin air. You literally made that up out of thin air. He did not have neurological damage or brain damage or any type of damage like that. Oh my God, my brother really made that up out of nowhere. Listen, when you lie, that's how you know you're a hater. Because you got to lie to have a good talking point. No, there was no neurological damage. That's a lie. Don't make stuff up, bro. Don't do that. You're talking to the human algorithm, my brother. Try to come up with the facts and make up a good argument with the facts. But when you make stuff up, you're talking to somebody that's following up closely. No brain damage ever happened. There's no report, no paperwork, or no brain damage. Either you made that up out of thin air or tell me who lied to you so I could tell them that they're a liar for you. They lied to you. Nick Kinneman, Spence looked great in the Ugas fight before the Crawford fight. All good, though. Crawford haters are going to hate and will make up excuse after Crawford beats Canelo. That's the thing. People shifted their argument from, yo, Spence is too big, Crawford is too little, Spence is going to walk him down, Spence is going to beat him up. Then when Crawford whooped that ass, they switched it. Oh, the car accident and what happened was, and Errol Spence, dog ate his homework in training camp. Like, man, y'all got to stop with the excuses and learn how to take the loss, man. Y'all gotta be more graceful with taking a loss. Y'all don't know how to take a loss, babe. Come on. Come on, babe. Detached retina. Come on, man. Like, what are we talking about here? 7 train conversations. If all the damage lingered, he wouldn't have signed the contract. And since Spence signed up, no excuses. There are no excuses. It's only the Crawford haters and the PBC fans and the Tankamaniacs that say stuff like that. Come on now. Team Banales. Bro, Buzz says Spence wasn't that good. Because he's better than him. He's better. He feels that he's better than him. Come on now. Easy Boy 88. If you were Bowman, do you have Crawford fight southpaw orthodox or switch throughout the fight? To be honest, I will have Crawford start off orthodox and then switch throughout the fight. I say come out orthodox just because Canelo, he's very good with timing his opponents. So, if he come out as a southpaw, Canelo could time him with a lead right hand. So I think he's better off, getting Canelo speed, getting the distance, getting everything, working him out as orthodox, and then start going back and forth throughout the fight. Giovanni, and you're wrong because I knew Spence wasn't looking good going into the fight. My brother, everybody knew everything after the fight. That's the thing, Giovanni. Everybody says they knew everything about the fight. Where's all the people that were saying Spence was going to win? Where's all the people that saying Spence was going to knock Crawford out? I can't find anybody now. Now you knew what was going to happen. Now you knew. Everybody knew. I don't want to hear what everybody knew after the fight, my brother. I want to hear it before the fights. I want to hear it before the fights. Jimmy, how bad is 1 year inactivity for Bud? It's not going to be. It's not going to be bad at all. It's actually going to be good, and I tell you why. Remember, Crawford just turned 37 years old. As you get older, if you have a lot of activity, that wear and tear is going to catch up to you. That year of inactivity is not going to have a negative impact. Why? Because Crawford, and I tell people, I want you to think about this, Jimmy, because I don't want you to think that I'm just bullshitting you, right? We never seen a picture of a fat Terence Crawford. We never seen a video of Terence Crawford getting drunk in a club or Terence Crawford smoking and getting high, shit like that, right? We never seen that. Like, he's a true athlete. So what I'm telling you is throughout this year of inactivity, Crawford wasn't just hanging around, partying and doing nothing. If you follow him or anybody that follows him on social media knows, Crawford is still going to the gym, still be running, still be lifting weights, still be sparring, still hitting the back. He's going to be in great shape. He's not going to be somebody who was away from boxing for a year and then jumped in a training camp for his next fight. No, Crawford has been in the gym, my brother. So you're not going to see no ring rust whatsoever. I can guarantee you that. Giovanni, 1 year, that doesn't matter to Bud. He's always active, Jimmy. He's active. He's an athlete, a true athlete. 7 train conversation. Canelo is wearing lifts because in his own mind he thought Crawford was shorter and smaller, but has already won the mind games. But just walk Canelo off the stage easy. So no, Canelo knows that Crawford is slightly taller than him, but he's wearing platform shoes because for the face-off, he doesn't want to look smaller. He doesn't want to look shorter. Because you know that there's mind games being played. And you know that there's a narrative going around that Crawford is so little moving up. Look, right now somebody was talking about Crawford being 154 and moving up this whole 2 divisions, bigger Canelo. So Canelo has to feed that narrative as well. If he wear regular shoes, what's going to happen when they face off each other and he's looking at Crawford like this? It's not going to be a good look. You big, you so big, and you're looking up at him. So that's part of the mind games, to make it seem like, yeah, I'm bigger than you. But my peoples, Crawford is not smaller than Canelo. You've seen them. You've seen them going face to face. He's not. He's not. The notion that we got a 154 guy fighting a 168 guy is erroneous. Crawford is weighing more than Canelo. Giovanni, how does it benefit me to be a Bud hater? I like Bud. I don't know, my brother. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You ask that question to any Bud hater, how it benefits them. I don't know. Jumpy, Canelo sending Bud into retirement. You're going to be disappointed. Crawford going to whoop that ass. John Params, my brother, salute. Bam. Appreciate you coming in, man. Giovanni, I'm a true boxing fan. Fought amateur for 12 years. How is that possible? Champy, please explain. John Parham, off subject, but KD now is a Houston Rocket. Goddamn. Goddamn. KD to the Rockets. Champy, Giovanni, is very easy to explain and understand. TCP, nobody knew before the fight, but after, everybody an expert. That's what I'm saying, TCP. Now, in this channel, though, if you scroll down and you go to the beginning, you're going to see that I knew. I was telling everybody, yo, Crawford's going to knock him out in the 8th or the 9th round. And you see the comment section, people laughing at me, people saying that I didn't believe it, I'm just trolling. And then when it finally happened, everybody who says Spencer's going to knock Crawford out, they switched the tune up. Oh, the car accident, and Spencer's dog gave his homework, and what happened was he wasn't the same. Excuses, bro, excuses. That shit is funny as hell. Giovanni, bro, Canelo is finished. Nah, Canelo's not finished. If you truly know boxing, only casual think Canelo will win. Nah, Canelo's not finished. That's crazy work. Listen, bro. Giovanni, let me tell you something. Canelo is going to be the favorite going into that fight. So how are you going to say that only casuals believe he will win? Canelo's going to be the favorite, my guy. Canelo will be the favorite. You cannot be the favorite and only have casuals believe that you're going to win. You can't. Now, you know who are the casuals? That people that go in the chat and say shit like, yo, Canelo's going to knock him out in 4 rounds and retire him. Those are the casuals. Like, how you all think Crawford, a guy who never been knocked out, is just going to be knocked out in 4 rounds? Like he's a bum. He's some bum. Those are the casuals. The people that think that it's going to be overly easy. That either guy is going to do it overly easy. Talking about 2 pound-for-pound fighters. It's not going to be easy about this fight. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a competitive fight. Crawford is going to whoop that ass. Easy boy. If you're Eddie Reynoso, what is your game plan for facing Crawford? Honestly, I believe that Canelo is going to have to apply constant pressure on Terence Crawford. He's going to have to go to the body early. Going to have to do his very best to try to get on the inside. And they have to work this entire training camp on cutting the ring. You guys saw that Canelo, when it comes to cutting the ring, he did a horrible job versus William Skull, who danced around him the whole night. It made it a boring fight. I know that Crawford is not going to run around, but he's going to use that footwork to look for those angles. And if Canelo cannot, listen to this, what I'm telling you right now, my peoples. If Canelo cannot effectively cut the ring, at points, Crawford might even make it look easy. He might even make it look easy. Y'all over here talking about Crawford going to get knocked out. He might even make it look easy. So, we shall see. We shall see, my people. I've been trying to tell y'all. Champy got Crawford. At least Crawford will be blessed with a nice retirement check. Thanks to Canelo. A nice retirement check and 4 belts at the 168 division. Astro, I want Crawford to win. But to keep it real, Canelo just too big and too big of a puncher. Canelo ain't no arrow. But Astro, how are you saying that Canelo is too big if Crawford is walking around weighing 180-something pounds? And Canelo was weighing 168 just the other day to fight William Skull. Crawford was actually bigger than him. Where are you getting this notion? That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not like Crawford is weighing 168, 154 today, and Canelo weighing 168, and Crawford is going to have to fight a bigger guy. Crawford is heavier than Canelo right now, my brother. This guy walking around in the 180s. He's going to have to cut down to 168. So that size difference that you got in your head, you got to let it go, bro, because it's not even close to what you think. It's not even close. 7 trained conversations. Word is bond. Bud is an athlete as well as a boxer. He's settling into his natural weight like a football player or wrestler, which Bud happens to be too. I'm trying to tell you, Crawford has been walking. Yo, he posted a picture of him standing on a scale weighing 185 pounds over a month ago, while Canelo was making 168 to fight William Skull. So Crawford was taller and heavier than Canelo just a month ago. Let that marinate in your spirit, my people. I don't know why y'all thinking that Crawford is walking around right now weighing 154 and that he's going to gain weight to fight Canelo when this dude walking around north of 180 pounds. The nobody, JSmiff, what's your thoughts on people saying Canelo is more upset for fighting bigger guys compared to Bud, and he's been fighting at 168 longer, so he should be more used to fighting at a higher weight? So I think that the weight, when we finally get to the fight, y'all gonna see this, my brother. That's why people give me my credit for being a boxing analyst. I promise you, the weight is not going to be a factor. Because if you think about it, when we talk about weight, the whole point of it is strength. He's bigger and stronger. But what happens if Canelo doesn't knock him out, doesn't drop him, and it goes the distance? Then the weight is going to be irrelevant, right? I promise you, my brother, the nobody. Weight is going to be irrelevant. This fight, we're talking about 2 pound for pound fighters, 2 of the greats of this era. This fight is going to go down to skills. Who can box better than who? And Terence Crawford is going to outbox Canelo. I'm telling you. If you notice, most of the people bring up that same talking point for Canelo's favor, the weight. People are not saying Canelo's going to outbox him. Canelo's going to use the jab on him. Canelo's going to use... No. People just keep saying the weight, the weight, the weight. But what if the weight doesn't change the outcome of the fight? What's next? Skills. And skills is not next to weight. Skills is the first thing that's going to dictate a fight. And when you take a hard puncher and a great boxer and you put them together, 9 times out of 10, the great boxers beat the great punchers. 9 times out of 10. You can look it up. You can look up historical data. Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, the boxer beat the puncher. Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez, the boxer beat the puncher. It keeps happening over and over throughout history. So the weight is going to keep coming up to feed that narrative that Canelo's a lot bigger. He's not a lot bigger, my brother. Crawford is walking around weighing more than him. Hash bash. Why is it when someone say Canelo will beat Crawford, they say they are casual? Make no sense. Nah, that's not true. Saying that Canelo's going to win is no casual. It's just coming up with these crazy predictions that Canelo's going to knock him out in 2-3 rounds. That's some casual fan stuff. Because how do you come to the conclusion that somebody that's never lost is going to get smoked in 3-4 rounds? That's some casual fans, extremist type shit. Giovanni, Canelo is only the favorite because he is mainstream, but is an underground dog. Giovanni, come on, man. You got to have a better talking point than that. And I tell you, because Las Vegas does not pick odds based on popularity. They pick odds based on other factors, wins, experience, weight, and a bunch of other stuff. Canelo's going to be the favorite, because of why most people think he's going to win. Because he's the guy at the highest division. Crawford is the smaller guy coming up. Canelo is just as accomplished. They're both very accomplished. I'm not going to say as. They both have their own accomplishments. Canelo's going to be the favorite. Anytime a guy's moving up to challenge a champion and they're both great fighters, the guy at the higher division is going to be the favorite. That's why. Astro, Crawford got the more skills, but that weight and power to me overshadow that. But Astro, what weight and power are you talking about when we're seeing it that Crawford is weighing just as much as Canelo, and he got his own power. Champy, his one decent win was against the town drunk coming off of a life-changing car accident. Imagine that, Champy. You're saying that that's his one decent win. Meanwhile, Crawford has beaten multiple world champions, has been champion in 4 divisions, has been undisputed in 2 divisions, but he only has one good win. I gotta tell you that you don't know shit about boxing or you don't like Crawford. It gotta be one of those two. Astro, weighing out of weight and fighting out of weight is 2 big, huge things, bro. If you know boxing, and if Crawford can't make Canelo respect his power, it's over. So you're telling me if I know boxing, but right there with that statement, you sound like you don't know boxing, because you're saying if Canelo won't respect Crawford's power, it's over. You sound like you don't know boxing. You think Canelo respected Floyd Mayweather's power? Floyd Mayweather don't got no power, don't got a high knockout percentage. You think Canelo respected Bivol power? Bivol don't got no power. He don't got a high knockout percentage. He ain't knocking people out. Floyd didn't. You don't have to respect somebody's power. Canelo don't have to respect your power for you to beat his ass. The 2 people that beat him were not power punchers. That right there debunks your whole logic, brother. Canelo does not need to respect your power for you to beat him. Nobody needs to respect anything for you to outbox them. Learn that, my brother. Boxing IQ beats power 9 times out of 10. Look up the historical data. Look up when the great boxer and the great puncher met up. Look what happened. Look it up. Look what happened when George Foreman, who was destroying everybody, went up against Muhammad Ali. Got smoked. Look what happened when Marvelous Marvin Hagler, who was destroying everybody, went up against Sugar Ray Leonard. Got beat. Look what happened. Mike Tyson, destroying everybody, went up against Lennox Lewis. Got smoked. My people, boxers beat punchers all the time. If you know boxing, you should know that. That's what we're going to get right here. That's what we're going to get, and you shall see it. Hash Bass, JSmiff, are you saying Crawford was a weight bully? I have no idea where you came from with that. I don't even understand what that means. TCP, I'm picking Bud. Never seen this dude getting put on him ever. I hope Canelo brings out the best on Bud, so we will see all tools come out. Champy, exactly. Crawford been a weight bully for a while. I don't know how, you see, casual fans use that weight bully stuff a lot. That's just funny to me. One day, y'all saying Errol Spence is too big for him at 147. The next day, he's a weight bully. I don't understand yet. I can't even respond to that shit. One day he's too little. One day he's a weight bully. Make that shit make sense. 7 train conversation. Bud trains in Colorado regularly. The altitude will help him move with speed and quickness. People don't know that Bud has been training this way for years. Anybody who follows him on IG knows. You've seen Crawford running in the mountains and everything. The nobody. Canelo is definitely not washed up, but you can tell he's clearly slowing down if you've seen his last few fights. I wouldn't say he's slowing down. I would just say he's more or less willing to chase you around. So if you're really on that footwork, he's not going to chase you like that. He's not going to corner you. He's not going to beat you up. He's going to beat you on points. Champy, Canelo is just as skilled, if not more skilled than Crawford. I mean, I respect that. I respect that. I think Crawford is the more skilled fighter, but I just want to tell you, Champy, if that was the case, when people talk about this fight, they will talk about Canelo's skills and how he's going to beat Crawford. But they don't do that. They only talk about the weight. Oh, he's bigger. He's stronger. He's bigger. He's stronger. That's the only talking point that you see. So subconsciously, y'all know that Crawford is not more skilled than Canelo because your only argument is that he's stronger and that he's bigger. Astro, Crawford looked slow in his last fight. That's why I'm scared for him. And now going up more classes, I don't know, bro. Like I try to tell everybody, Astro, and I'm telling you, my brother, styles make fights. Crawford is not going to fight Canelo the same way that he fought Madrimov. That's what you're not seeing. You think it's going to be the same, but it's not. It's not going to be the same. Canelo doesn't fight like Madrimov. Canelo's a flat-footed fighter who doesn't move a lot. Madrimov is a guy that's like this the whole fight. 12 rounds of this. Very hard to time him. That's the way that it played out. Canelo's not going to fight. I mean, Crawford is not going to fight the same way that he fought Madrimov, and Canelo doesn't fight like Madrimov. So what happened between Crawford and Madrimov is completely irrelevant and incoherent with what's going to happen with Canelo and Bud. That's two whole different fights, two whole different styles of boxing. It's irrelevant. That's like me telling you, yo, the way Canelo, struggled versus Bivol, I think Crawford's going to beat him up. Crawford's going to beat him up because Bivol beat him up. But then you're going to tell me, well, Crawford is no Bivol. He's different. Okay, Canelo is no Madrimov, my guy. It's the same thing. Styles make fights. Let's see what type of game plan they're going to have for each other. TCP, the reason Canelo is beating bigger guys at 168 is because of skills. Berlanga, Plan, Munguia, all big guys. Canelo has the skills, but Bud has more skills and tools. Look, Canelo Alvarez is a very skillful fighter, and I try to say this to people to make the comparison. Y'all think about this. Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was able to find success at the welterweight division because he was such a skilled fighter. That's why. But if you really think about it, he's a very small dude. Everybody he fought at welterweight was bigger than him. The same thing with Canelo Alvarez. He's able to find success at 168 because of his skills. But he's a small fighter. And you know what's funny? Crawford said exactly the same thing that I've been telling y'all. Crawford haters like Hash Bass told me, yo, Crawford should fight Benavidez. I'm like, that shit don't make no sense. Benavidez is too big. And what did Crawford, and I told him, and a lot of people on here, how the hell y'all gonna ask Crawford to fight Benavidez, man? This guy is over 6 feet tall, been fighting in high divisions his whole life. He can fight Canelo Alvarez because Canelo is a small fighter who moved all the way up to 168 because of his skills. But y'all forgetting that Canelo first became a world champion at 154? Canelo got the body of a 154-pounder. He got the frame of a 154-pounder, my people. Come on now. Let's keep it 100. So that's why Crawford is able to move up and fight him, because Canelo is physically a small guy. Benavidez is physically a huge guy, so it doesn't make sense at all. Like, that's how you can see people hate Crawford so much. You're saying that he's too small for Canelo, but you're also saying that he should fight Benavidez, who's a giant in front of Canelo. Make that shit make sense. Make that shit make sense. TCP, the same argument for Canelo's size over Crawford could be applied to Canelo's opponent who were bigger than him, but Canelo beat them dudes to skills. Crawford can beat Canelo the same way. Same deal. David Balogun, you taking calls? So much to say. Okay. So David, listen to this, my people. Listen to this. I started doing this recently, inviting people to come join the live and say what you got to say. So we're going to do this right now, my people. I'm going to drop the link. I'm going to drop the link on y'all right here. And let's see, you could join me, my people. You could come through and share your opinion. So anybody who wants to share your opinion about Crawford versus Canelo, if you want to tell me how you think Canelo's going to win this fight or how you think Crawford is going to win this fight, there's the link right there, my peoples. Hit that link, join, and I'll let you in. You can, come on the live with me and say what you got to say, my peoples. Because I will be doing this a lot. I will be letting you guys come in and say what y'all got to say. So, my peoples, without further ado, my brother David, he's going to show up. He's going to let us know what he think about Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Here you go, my brother. My brother David,
up,
welcome
brother?
to
What's up, man? I'm from London. This all the way from London right now, man.
Oh shit, we got London in the building, my peoples. What's the deal, my brother? Talk to me. What you got for Canelo versus Crawford?
Bro, I got a lot. Honestly, I've been in the comments of basically everything to do with this fight. The YouTube shorts, the DAZN video. I've been on all the comments, bro. I'm getting cooked. Like everyone's just cooking me. I'm sending paragraph to strangers. But man, this is what I think. This is what I really think. I think.
Yo, my brother, by the way, if you want to, you could turn your camera on. Anybody, my people who join the live with me, you could turn your camera on. We talking boxing like we standing in front of the building.
Yeah, my head's a mess, but I'll turn my camera on, bro.
But go ahead.
You see me, bro?
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah, I got my little hood up. All right, cool. I think Crawford can beat Spence. I think Crawford can beat Canelo the exact same way he beat Spence, but over 12 rounds. You see, one thing about Canelo that I don't hear many people saying is his body punching. I think that is his biggest threat to Crawford. He whips to the body like a Jesus Christ. I would never want to take a body shot from Canelo. They look so vicious, bro.
But let me respond to that. My brother, because I want you to take this into consideration, right? We all know that Canelo Alvarez is known. His trademark is that body punching, right? That left hook to the body, bread and butter for Canelo, right? But think about Canelo versus Dimitri Bivol, and also think about Canelo versus Floyd Mayweather. And the reason I bring you back to those two fights is because he didn't land a lot of body punches on those two fighters.
Why you bring up his only two losses?
But I'm gonna tell you why. So I'm gonna tie it up to this so you can understand what I mean by that. Okay, Erislandis Lara, he won that fight. If you think about Erislandis Lara, there wasn't a lot of body punches to that fight either. And till this day, some people felt like Lara beat Canelo, right? He beat him. Canelo won that. That's in the record books. But here's my point to that. If you have the footwork and the IQ to keep Canelo at the end of your jab, it's very hard for him to consistently catch you to the body. Because you know that for the body punches, what you need to do, close the gap. You need to be right there, close the gap. So I believe that Canelo is not going to land as many body punches on a Terence Crawford who's going to be able to use that footwork on him.
As many, but bro, what if he only needs a few? Imagine he were in the 6th round. I don't know. Crawford has taken some shots, but he's looking good. And Canelo to the
it's not going. Look, this is what you're getting just for assuming that, David. Bam! You're out of here, David. It's not gonna happen. Terence Crawford gonna put the beats on him. Yo, salute to David for dropping in, sharing his opinion of what he thinks is gonna happen with Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. And that's a very good opinion, and that's a very good take. And to those, my peoples, while David was here talking to me, to those who mentioning about Canelo running, about Crawford running. I want you guys to take this into consideration, my people. We've never seen Terence Crawford running in his whole life. Crawford has never been a runner ever in his whole career. So why would we assume that for the first time ever, he's not going to turn into a runner? He's going to change to a new style of boxing in the most important fight of his career? No, my people. We can't be assuming that Terence Crawford is going to run when he's never ran. Terence Crawford never ran, my peoples. Come on now. Angry Mexican, salute, JSmiff. I see you constantly growing with the channel, adding new improvements. Box Center is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. Hell yeah, my brother. We coming up. We coming up. We on the come up, my people. I mean, I told you, my brother, we headed to number one. Box Center is going to be the number one boxing channel. I want to show you something, my people. Damn, that storage already gone. Fuck. So I posted a story earlier, and Terence Crawford was in the building, checked it out. Y'all recognize a few of those names. Y'all recognize a few of those names. Hash Bass. One of them was years ago against Floyd or Lara. Nick Kinnaman. Let him back on. I want to hear what else he had to say. Okay. Ah, shit, man. David, send the invite. Oh, my people, listen. Dry turkey, 18 by 18. Yo, the ring size don't matter. Crawford will beat his ass inside of a phone booth. David Bologun, brother, Canelo can absolutely fold Crawford. I mean, if he catch him with the right shot, you're right. And Crawford can absolutely fold Canelo if he catch him with that shot too. TCP, only fight Crawford ran was the Posto fight. He definitely ran that fight. I wouldn't say he ran. He used footwork. Was being very strategic. My peoples, my brother David wants to come back in the building. We're going to have to let David back in the building. And let's see what David got to say. He's saying that Canelo Alvarez is going to fold Crawford.
Wow,
Talk
bro.
to me, David.
That was crazy. You kicked me out crazy, bro.
That's how we doing it, my brother.
I hear you, but bro, I want to give you some things to think about. I do. I got a question. I got a genuine question for you and for the audience.
All right.
If Crawford is struggling in that fight and he's in a situation where he might have to start banking some rounds, and you know, Bo Macazini's face in the corner, it's not looking too great. And we know, one thing we know, Crawford has an animal in him, not a dog, not a lion, a different kind of animal. Can Crawford bring out that dog against Canelo? And if he does, do you think it puts him in bigger trouble at risk of a knockout? Or do you think if he turns into that animal that he can turn into, he gets Canelo out there? What do you think? What do you think of that?
Okay, but let me ask you a question. Are you basing that? Are you saying if Crawford gets behind on the cards?
Yeah, if it's looking like an even, you know what I mean? If he needs to step on that gas, let's just say if he needs to step on that gas.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this: if the fight is close and Crawford needs to step on the gas to make it a clear win, then he could be putting himself in danger. If it's like that,
So
he could potentially put himself in harm's way if he has to step up. But I'm going off of, I feel like Crawford will be able to get ahead on the cards early. Like on the first 6 rounds, I see Crawford going ahead on the cards to where he's going to be able to box and stick to his game plan as opposed to have to look for a way to catch up on the cards. I don't see that happening.
I'm sorry to. Okay, let me say this. I'm gonna spin the question now. If Crawford is up 6 rounds and Canelo is hunting him down, because we know Canelo's a flat-footed fighter, he's a master of the fundamentals. He's gonna come through his high guard and he's gonna be stalking Crawford all over the ring. If Crawford is up 6 rounds and Canelo knows he might need a knockout, are you seriously trying to tell me you don't see Crawford losing to Canelo by knockout in that situation?
If he's ahead of the cards and Canelo has to chase him,
yeah,
I don't see Crawford losing. Listen. Listen, my brother, listen to this. Listen to this. If, let's say, by round number 8, Crawford is clearly ahead on the cards and Canelo's getting desperate, right?
Yeah.
If that happens, Crawford's footwork is way too much for Canelo to ever catch him.
This is at one.
Crawford's ahead. Listen, if Crawford gets ahead, remember that I told you this. If Crawford is ahead on the cards, he's gonna cruise to an easy win. If he's ahead.
Have you seen that before?
Huh?
Have you seen that happen before?
Dimitri Bivol.
No, bro. Listen, this is Crawford at 168 pounds. And I heard Crawford say something
is that we haven't seen my brother Crawford at 168 pounds. We have not seen him, right? So we don't have a reference to go by. But here's my reference to Crawford at 168, and I want you to take this into consideration. Number one, we all know that Crawford is a special athlete. I think you would agree with me. I think you sound knowledgeable enough to know that Crawford is a gym rat, right?
Facts.
Okay, we know that Crawford is a gym rat. We've never seen a video of Terence Crawford getting drunk or getting high. We've never seen a picture of a fat Terence Crawford with a fat gut. This guy, anybody follows him on social media knows that even when he doesn't have a fight lined up, this guy be sparring with Shakur, lifting weights, running in the mountains. So what I'm trying to tell you, my brother, is that Crawford is a true fitness star, a super fitness athlete to the level of Floyd Mayweather, of Michael Jordan, of Tom Brady. These type of athletes that take care of their bodies even when they're not fighting.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to tell you, at 168, this athlete is going to be in great shape, my brother. He's going to be fast. He's going to be strong. He's going to be the guy with the better footwork inside the ring.
And he's going to be 38 years old, bro. And he's going to be 38.
He's 37. He's 37.
I think at the time of the fight, he's going to be 38. With some inactivity, with a new weight.
No.
I'm a big Crawford fan, bro. But I see Canelo. When Canelo's saying easy money, easy fight, I promise you, I think he really believes that. I think he really does.
Nah. He don't believe that. Trust me. It's Canelo playing the mind games. It's all about the mind game. Just like them big ass platform shoes he wearing to try to look the same height as Crawford. It's the mind games. Listen, no fighter, my brother, no fighter is gonna believe that a pound for pound fighter, one of the best of this era, is gonna be an easy win. Nobody truly believes that, bro. Nobody. I promise you.
Okay, so what's your prediction? What's your honest prediction for the fight?
Nah, I honestly got Crawford winning by unanimous decision. I think that it's going to be a very competitive fight. They are going to go back and forth. Canelo is going to win some rounds. It's not going to be like, nobody gets washed. At this level, ain't nobody getting washed. Crawford not getting washed. Canelo not getting washed. I think it's going to be a competitive fight. And slowly but surely, Crawford is going to start pulling away with the boxing skills, with the counter punching. He got the footwork. Remember this. Canelo, although he always fights with bigger guys, he has struggled with Bivol, who beat him, right? Erislandis Lara, who's a boxer, Cuban fighter with that Cuban style, and of course, Floyd Mayweather. So he struggled versus boxers, but one thing that I want you to keep in mind, Lara and Bivol got two things: height and reach advantages on Canelo. So guys who have height and reach advantages and good footwork have given him problems. Why? Because when you keep them at the end of that jab, those body punches become incoherent. You can't hit somebody to the body from across the ring. You got to be inside of a phone booth to make those punches work.
Yeah.
And I believe that Crawford has the skills to keep Canelo at the end of that jab to where Canelo is not going to land those body punches consistently.
Yeah.
He's going to land, but it's not going to be so many body punches to where you're going to slow Crawford down in the 8th round. 7th round like you do other fighters and stop him. That's not gonna happen. If you watch Bivol versus Canelo, yo, there were sometimes full rounds when he didn't land a single meaningful body shot on Bivol.
True. I got a point for you. There's something else I've been thinking about. I've watched Canelo's last few fights live.
Let me read this comment real quick. The official shit. Although my people, my bad, everybody in the comments. Y'all know how I am. I try to get involved with y'all. The official Pablo. Have you seen Canelo put punishment on people, my brother? I've been following Canelo's career since early. No, he just pops them with one punch and steps forward, pops one punch and steps forward. He's a one-punch guy now. Can't do that and win against Crawford. Well, I will say that he does more than one punch. It may have come across like that versus a guy like William Skull who's going to use that footwork. And when you're at a distance, like I said before, if you're far from somebody, you can't effectively use hooks to the body. You got to get on the inside for those.
That's true, but Canelo's volume has definitely dropped, though. It's definitely dropped. He's not as busy.
But that's what I'm saying. What we've seen in Canelo is drop a little bit in activity. But if you see his punching power is there, if you see the speed in his punches is there, if you see the way that he number one slips punches, but number two, the way he rolls when he takes punches. That's the one thing people don't realize. Canelo gets hit a lot, but oftentimes you hit Canelo in the face and he does this. He rolls with it. So it's very hard to actually catch him flush.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
He's a master.
Sometimes people think that a guy has a metal jaw and a cinder block jaw, but it's also the way that he rolls with those punches. Because I box, my brother, and I can tell you, it's a big difference when you get hit and you roll with it, and when you get hit and the punch rolls you.
Yeah, I box too, so I know. Yeah,
you know, if that punch rolls you, your knees could be gone right there on the spot.
Yeah.
But if you roll with it, you might not even take no damage.
You're taking the sting off the shot. So
exactly, Canelo does a very good. He mastered that. Most of the shots, most of the straight right hands that land to, or the left hooks that come, quick left hooks. You see Canelo rolling with it.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch because honestly, a lot of fighters, even if they are smart and they do see the punch come in, that split second punch that might knock them out, they can brace themselves for the impact. And that is the reason why they might survive. But Canelo is just not happening with him.
Listen,
he's been there too many times.
In most cases, when people go to sleep, they got hit with a punch they didn't see coming.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you look at, let's go to Leo Santa Cruz versus Tank Davis. That was a counter uppercut, right? It was a counter uppercut. Boom, Leo ate that, went straight to sleep. Then if you look at Tank Davis versus Rollies, that was also a counter left hand. Tank Davis was up against the rope. Rollies threw. Tank Davis went on the shot. Boom! Got it. Same with Ryan Garcia, a counter shot. So most of the people that go to sleep, it's a shot that they don't see coming, so they're not able to be ready for it, brace themselves. It's very hard to catch Canelo with that shot.
Very hard.
Almost impossible.
Yeah.
His ring awareness is to another level. That's why he was able to eat Triple G's biggest punches like them shits was motherfucking beef chalupas. Ate those. We never saw Canelo hurt, wobble, stagger versus Triple G.
So you are saying, so with your point that you just made, basically set in stone that you think there's no way Crawford wins by knockout. You have to admit, that's basically what you're saying.
Listen. It's a very low possibility for Crawford. I wouldn't say there's no possibility. Because you boxing, I boxing. We know anything can happen in boxing.
Anything.
It takes just that one shot, and it's over. So I'm not saying there's no possibility. I'm not saying there's no possibility. But what I am saying is that Number one, Canelo does a very good job of rolling with the punches. But number two, he can flat out take a shot. So for a knockout to happen, I believe it would have to be an accumulation of punishment. Like Crawford is really teeing off on him. You know, round number 5, round number 6, starts timing him and catching him good. And then by round number 9 or 10, when he's like really hurt, a big counter shot that he doesn't see coming, that we were just talking about, boom, and sleeps him. But the odds are against that happening.
What's the percentage chance? What's the percentage chance of it happening? Of Crawford knocking out Canelo?
If I could put a percentage of Crawford knocking out Canelo,
Yeah.
I would say 15%.
Oh,
Say
that's
15%.
okay. What about Canelo knocking out Crawford? That's what I really want to hear.
What's the percentage of Canelo knocking out Crawford?
You got 15% for Crawford knocking out Canelo. Now Canelo knocking out Crawford.
5%. 5%, my brother.
5%?
5%.
This your bro. Your bad.
You gotta accept it, my brother. You gotta accept it. 5%. That's what you get it.
Sorry,
5%.
I was getting some phone calls. Sorry, bro.
Hold on. The original Carlos says plus Crawford reach on Canelo will add to his counters. 1% Canelo. Look, somebody got 1% Canelo knocking out Crawford. Somebody got 1% Canelo knocking out Crawford. You got to understand, my brother. Listen, if I don't see Canelo beating Crawford, then the percentage of him knocking him out is going to be real low because I don't even see him winning that fight. I don't see him winning that fight. Now, I always have to reiterate, even though I don't see him winning it, boxing is boxing and anything can happen. Canelo's a great fighter because that's the one thing about boxing fans. Boxing fans, we have to stop feeling like if I'm going to give props to this fighter, I'm going to discredit that fighter. We don't have to. We don't have to do that. We do not. David, peace out, my brother. Let me let you drop off. And my peoples, by the way, if anybody else want to come through, talk boxing, give your prediction, holla at me. Holla at me. Do not hesitate. Easy Boy 88, you're tripping out on this world because Jeff Shirley, you must be trolling. Nick Kellerman, 10% KO win for Crawford, 10% KO win for Canelo. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I see a higher percentage for Crawford. I know, again, the whole narrative, Canelo's the bigger guy, Canelo's a stronger guy, all that good stuff. I get that. I get it. But I still will tell you, I see Crawford as having a higher possibility of knocking out Canelo. What's my other phone? That's my perception of the way that the fight plays out. But we're talking about, the possibilities, right? Because at the end of the day, I see the fight going the distance. I see it going the distance. John Parham, Canelo not going to get KO. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't see it. Nick Kellerman, I believe Crawford will win, but at the same time, the only way I see Canelo winning is by KO. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. I do not see a way for Canelo to actually outbox Crawford, go the distance, outbox him, and win on the cards. I don't see it. I feel like Crawford is flat out the better boxer, and we're gonna see that. We're gonna see it play out, my peoples. John Parham, it will go 12 in my opinion. I agree with you. That's how I see it playing out. I know that you got Canelo winning by decision. I got Crawford winning by decision as well. We're gonna see, my people. We're gonna see. I'm about to end this live, but before I do, as always, I want to give a shout out to everybody who came through. David, who came on the live to give your prediction, give your opinion. I appreciate you, my brother. John Parham, Joe KYNG, the official Pablo, everybody who came through, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all know what this is, man. This is Box Center. This is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. This is gonna be the #1 boxing channel, my people. And I'm not trying to knock, because I love a lot of different boxing channels. I follow a lot of boxing channels too, my people. So don't think that I'm trying to knock anybody. But Box Center is gonna be the #1 boxing channel, my peoples. I promise you this. I promise you this. The official Pablo, I respect your boxing. I subscribe. I appreciate you, my brother. And again, salute to everybody. Peace, one love. By the way, I'm gonna be live again later tonight. And in tonight's live is gonna be specifically so we could go back and forth. We're gonna do some interactions. So hopefully some of you guys want to join the live with me, give your opinion. And I'm also trying to have people come in here. We're gonna be trash talking and everything, my people. Tonight, if you want to trash talk, if you want to talk your shit, we're gonna do that tonight. So be ready. Shit, weight class for a reason. See what Bibo did to Canelo? Roberto Ibarra subscribed. I appreciate you, my G. And yo, listen, I appreciate everyone who subscribed, everyone who hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that like button, man. Look out for your boy JSmiff, man. Listen, Box Center is bringing you guys some fire content, my peoples. Don't miss it. Check out the videos that I'll be posting, the short videos, the long videos, the live videos. Check everything out, my peoples. I promise you, y'all gonna enjoy it. But again, yo, I'm out of here. I'm JSmiff. This is Box Center. This is your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. I'm gonna talk to you guys later, man. Salute, one love. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me for a minute, talking boxing, man. I'll see y'all later.